But sometimes we have to just be obedient to do what, especially when we're in the service of the Lord, to do what he desires for us to do. Just like he told Abraham to just to pick up his things and to go and not even worry about what he had to leave and what he had amassed and how he was going to get rid of it. Sometimes we just have to get up and just do it. And if we believe in him, then we have to believe that he will make the provisions and do the things necessary for us. And so I was here and visiting the music store and talking to them about how they could do some things to enhance their music ministry, never thinking that I would be a part of it. And so while sitting in the store, I was playing, and the owner of the store came to me and he said, "Man, do you have a resume?" And so I said, "Yeah, I got one in the car," and I gave it to him. And to make a long story short, he all but offered me a job immediately in that day. Now, just remember now, I wasn't even here and had no thought of here, never was offered anything. But then, when I got ready to leave, I did tell him that the church had made an offer and asked me to come here. And he said, this was January, had to be the 3rd or so. And he said, "Well, man, you can start work on the 4th. And I said, "Well, Jay, you know what? I've not moved yet." and not even accepted the offer as of yet at that time, I don't think. And so when I did decide, I called him and I told him, "Well, Jay, I am coming back." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what, when you coming?" I said, "I'll fly in on the 25th or the 24th, something like that." He said, "Well, you can start working on the 26th. And since that time, I'm just so gracious to Jay Heath, the owner of Middletown Music, and his family. These are his kids over here sitting on the front row. But I met an extraordinary, anointed vocalist. Oh man, I was sitting in the store one day, and her daughter was singing the song, "Your Love Still Amazes Me." Is that it? Yeah, that's it. And man, I was in the room and I came out of that back and I said, the most awesome angelic voices. And now let me tell you something about the family. All of them over there are musicians, and there's even one that's missing that's a musician. And when I say they are musicians, they're serious. So it gives me a great privilege now to introduce that lady that was singing. I heard a song one night, just a little bit about the song. Most of you know that in most of the writing of songs, there are sometimes dual meanings, especially in the music of the church. Sometimes it has very many dual meanings. But this one has a wonderful dual meaning because the song is entitled "One Night with the King." And most of us know the story of Esther, and how they were out to destroy the people of God, and so Esther had to go before the king. Back then, if women could not approach the king. They had to be summoned, and even though she was the queen, now this is Queen Esther, she still was in jeopardy of losing her life. And so because she chose to say, "Well, you know what, I got to try to save my people," because that was back during the time when the people of God were doing just like we are today, doing the things that we weren't supposed to. We were hooked up with the folks that he told us not to. And so some of those people wanted to get rid of her. But the king really loved her. And so he granted her the audience to come and told her whatever her wishes would be, that he would grant them. And so that night her people were saved. And so that's one of the meanings. This song is taken from that musical, Esther, Queen Esther, One Night with the King. But there's a greater meaning to it. And that greater meaning is that if you don't know him, once you have come into an encounter with him, then it's one that transforms our lives. And so at this time, I want to bring out Mrs. Denise Heath to sing for us "One Night with the King."